Hi boys and girls. Today we have another assignment that we're going to create using crayons and a marker. If you do not have a marker, that's okay. I just use the marker to make my lines a little bit darker and show up better. In today's lesson, you're going to need a pencil to start with and then one piece of paper, and I'm going to show you how we're going to do this. Our assignment is a self-portrait, so you're going to do a portrait of yourself, but then you're going to be wearing a mask because that's what we're all doing these days, and we're going to have it to where once you open it, your mask underneath, it shows everything that's hiding under there. Your awesome smile, your funny grin, and then some characteristics about you. So while you're coloring, I want you to think of a few things that are some traits that describe you. So here I put smart, mindful, funny, cool, super, and kind. And then I did an example, and so this kid's name is Wade. Okay, so the mask covers up your beautiful smile, but I want you to understand that even though your mask is covering that, you still have lots of wonderful things underneath. And even if we can't see your smile, we hope to be able to see that you're smart or mindful or funny, whatever you choose for your traits, right? So I will show you a couple different ways on how we're going to create the hair. And then if you're a girl, you can change it up. If you're a boy and your hair is different, feel free to change anything up. Also, make sure that you're trying your best and trying out new techniques and things. So depending on your level of artwork, you know what you're comfortable with doing and what you're really good at. So if this is a super easy project for you, I want you to try and make it a little bit more realistic. I have included some pictures on your assignment that show some amazing artwork that is done with only Crayola crayons. And so I want you to see that even though this is just a crayon, you can do some really amazing things with it. In this same folder that you found this video, you'll find a link that says Crayon Artist Work. And this is an album that has pictures that have been created from using only Crayola crayons, the same ones that you can buy at H-E-B or Walmart. And so these artists have only used Crayola crayons, and they look super realistic. This looks like it's a photograph taken of some cats. This is by, Christina Nelson. This next one is also by Christina Nelson. And remember last week when I showed you that you could create value with your crayons by coloring super lightly and then coloring a little darker? You can tell that she's done that here because there's not that many different shades of black or gray in a crayon box, and even white. So she had to use value to get the different shades that she needed for this portrait. This is a picture of Oprah Winfrey that was created by artist Don Marco. Here is another one by Don Marco. This is a self-portrait of Don Marco, so he drew a picture of himself, and I love that he's holding the crayons, the same supplies that he uses to make his pictures. This one was done by Jeffrey Robert. This one was done by Jeffrey Robert as well. Look at how vivid he was able to get those colors. And this truck is awesome. It's done by Jeffrey Robert as well. So never underestimate a crayon. I have even tried myself. Let's see, if you have been with me before in art class, you've probably heard me say that I can do cartoon things really great. It's one of my strengths. But when I go to draw a face realistically, or and even an animal super realistic, it's hard for me to do. So I did a couple things yesterday. I was trying out a technique with using crayons and making it super realistic. So don't laugh, but this is my first try at a realistic portrait that I looked at a picture of a boy and I tried to recreate it. The picture looks a little bit funny because he was bending or looking at a funny angle where you couldn't see his neck. And so I realized that later that I probably shouldn't have picked that picture, but I'm going to show you real quick what I've tried to do with crayons. It looks a little scary, right? But this is my first attempt, and so I'm not going to throw it away. I don't love it at all. There's a lot that I can do and learn from it. See, it has a really bad glare. There we go. But I tried out a technique that included coloring in different directions, and then I was using only crayon. I didn't even use a pencil to start out with. So it was difficult for me, and but I was having fun trying to learn a new technique, okay? So don't be scared to try new things, all right? When you get your paper, you're going to hold it in front of you portrait, so that means the long sides are going up and down. You're going to fold it, take the bottom going up, and if you need an adult to help you out with this, that's okay. And then once you have this folded, so you can see the flap is at the top, so it opens up at the top. Now I'm going to take both top edges and fold it back down to this bottom edge. Okay, now the last thing you need to do, I'm going to zoom in a little closer so you can see, is go with this flap. You're going to open up one part and fold it back. So what you have is this one top of your paper that is folded or opened up, and this kind of looks like an accordion or like a little tint coming out. Okay, so this is going to give me the area to draw the face, the top of the head, and then down here is going to be the bottom of the face where the mask and chin would be. I want you to do this in, not purple marker, I want you to do it in pencil first, and then you can trace over it in marker. I'm going to use marker so that you can see what I'm doing really well. Okay, so my first step is I'm going to find the middle. This is where my line is creased. My paper is creased across, and I'm going to go in the middle of that. And to the left and the right, I'm going to make a rainbow shape for some eyes. A rainbow, and a rainbow. Do your best to try and make them symmetrical, meaning the same on both sides. And then after you have those rainbows, you're going to make a horizontal line going straight across to connect them. So now I have two eyes. Inside the eyes, you're going to make another little rainbow shape. This is for the iris of the eye. The iris of the eye is the part that is usually colored. It could be brown or really dark, but it's a color. And then we're going to make one more rainbow inside there for the black part of the eye, which is the pupil. And so I'm going to color in most of the black part, the pupil. I'm going to leave a little bit of white there to show where the light reflects off the eyes. After this, I'm going to give myself some eyebrows. Your eyebrows can make you look happy. They can even easily make you look angry if you're not careful. Okay, And then the next step is I need a hairline. So your hairline, it looks like a rainbow shape going across. And then I have some bangs going in front of my forehead, but you can see that rainbow shape right there. So I'm going to put my finger here to give me a guide because I don't want to go too far up the paper or I won't have room for hair. And I'm going to, an easy way to do this is make a little dot. Can't see my dot. There we go. And now I'm going to go from this side down till I get to that crease in my paper. From this side down till I get to that crease in my paper. And if you need to, practice drawing these out with your finger first so that your brain has an idea of how you're going to be drawing that line. Okay. The next step is on this section of my paper, I'm going to make the bottom half of the face that curves around also. Okay. I want to make sure it goes down and then across. Okay. So I'm going to go down. Well, first I'm going to give myself a guideline because I don't want to go too far. I want to have a little bit of space for a neck to show because I showed you on my last portrait, right? Without the neck, it looks funny. So I'm going to go down, and then as I start to get closer, I'm going to curve towards that dot, down, and curve towards my dot. So now you can see the bottom part of my face. Now inside here, a couple fingers spaced up, let's see, 3 fingers up, I'm going to put a dot, and I'm going to curve back towards the bottom of my face, but also making a rainbow shape so that it appears there's a mask on. Now, our mask will usually cover our nose and our mouth if you're wearing it correctly. So you want to make sure that you have a nose showing under here, right? But for right now, you wouldn't see the nose because it's covered with the mask. Something I'm missing on here is definitely some ears. If you look at your face, to the side of your eyes is usually about the top of your ears. So to the side of my eyes, here's the top of my ears. I'm going to curve out and down. Now I'm going on top of this little flap, and that's okay. So I'm going to curve out and down. So I've got some ears. Whoops, I made one ear bigger than the other. But if you are using pencil, you can always erase and make your ear bigger or smaller if you need to. So my next step is I'm going to open this flap, and now I can see my face is missing. So what I want to do is go down and connect to the bottom of the chin again, okay? So I'm going to give myself a, let's see, some space. I think about here is where the bottom of the face should be. So I'm going to put a dot. And remember, we're going to curve down and back towards your dot. Down and back towards your dot. It's okay if they're not the exact same as the one on the front, okay? Then I need to give myself a neck, which I forgot to do on this other part as well. So, not all the way out here, but in a little bit further, closer to the chin, I'm going to draw one line down, and I'm going to connect them with a little bit of a curved line. So now we see a neck. I'm going to go back over here, hold it back up, not on the edge of the face, but further in towards the chin, a line straight down and straight down. So now we can see a neck. Okay. Next step, we need a nose. Noses can be all different shapes and sizes. Some of us have little pointy noses, some of us have big round noses. So you choose and you look at yourself and see what kind of nose you think you have and how you can best draw that. I'm going to go in between here, and I'm going to show a little bit of the nose bridge because right between your eyes, this bone right here sticks out. And there we go, I've got a curved nose. And for a mouth, we want your mouth to look happy, most likely. It can even look like it's shouting if you want. So choose a way to draw a mouth, maybe a smile or some lips. I'm going to do a big smile. And inside here, I'm going to do the tongue showing. It's kind of like drawing a little bird or a letter M. And then I'm going to give a few teeth. Maybe you're missing some teeth. Feel free to draw any of that. I also like to draw, do you see these little lines on the side of your mouth? So draw some little divots that show how your mouth has little pockets on the side, right? Then I notice my ears are still missing the bottom half on this one, so I'm going to curve down and back towards the face. Down and back towards the face. I did a better job of making them both the same size this time. And now the thing I notice I'm really missing is hair. So I'm going to do the outline of some hair. Maybe your hair has bangs like mine, and so you might want to draw a few strands coming across. And if you're a girl, maybe you're going to wear your hair. It's easier to draw it on here if you have your hair going up into a ponytail or even some pigtails. So I'm going to do, let's see, some fun pigtails. Curve over to the other side. And then your hair goes all the way down to you can see your hairline to the top of your ears, okay? Goes further than that, but now I'm going to draw a few lines with my marker just to make it stand out. Let's see. Here's the little hair ties, because I've got some curly pigtails going on. All right, so now we've got some fun hair. And then my next step I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that I pay attention to this top fold right here. And so I'm not going to go higher than my ears. Oh no, my light's turned off. Give me 1 second. I'm not going to go higher than the ears right here in this line. And I'm going to write some traits down here. Things that I think about myself. Maybe you need to ask your mom. Say, hey mom, what's a word you would use to describe me? You can even write your name. So let's say, and I like to try and write in some fun ways. So what if mom says, hey, you are super cool? Then I can write super cool. And this part, you want to make sure that you're doing in pencil so that you can make sure you have some fun fonts in the ways that you write, and that you spell your words correctly, because if not, you want to be able to erase them. Something you can do easily if you are scared to try and write bubble letters or something kind of loopy is write the word, let's see, fun. Okay, you can see it in pencil. And then I'm going to go around it like there's bubbles around it. Go up. So now you can see I have bubble letters. It's a little trick to trying bubble letters. There we go. And then once you've done that, you can erase the lines that are in between your letters. Okay, so don't forget you have some room up here next to your cheeks where you can write some other words that describe you. Maybe you are talented. I bet some of you know how to play some instruments or even play different sports, right? So you're talented, okay? And then maybe mom says you are super silly. Okay, so now I have words here. The next thing you're ready to do is to create your design on your mask. You can color. Then at the end, after you've colored yourself and your mask and even colored in behind here, behind your words, something that makes it pop a little bit more is these radiating lines. So radiating lines means that it is coming out, and it looks, these look like they're coming out almost in a circle. So if you get a couple colors, do some girly colors on this one, and you do just some lines, almost like they're sunshine beams, but think of your lines coming out from the center of the face. So they're going around the outside of her face, but they're radiating. And they don't have to go all the way to the edge. These are darker colors so you can see. So they're not complete lines. They stop before they hit the edge of the paper, most of them. You get the idea? And this just gives it the appearance like you are sparkling in the sunshine, or you are just super bright and you have a great personality that shows. Okay? So once you have your radiating lines, and this one has less, but you can see what it looks like with a lot more. You've colored in your design on your mask. Maybe you have a mask that is a minion mask, and so you want to draw the minions on there. Or you have a mask that has a basketball, whatever you want, polka dots. This one I just did some different shapes and colors. I also used marker on here on the mask. That way it could pop a little bit. It'll just stand out because markers have a more vibrant color than a crayon. So inside here, I colored my words with one color and then the background behind that in a different color so that my words really stood out. Okay. Be creative, make it your own. I'll post a picture of what this one looks like when I'm done coloring it. But have fun with it, and don't forget, you really need to show your personality traits in here. That way we can know what's going on behind that mask, even if we don't see your beautiful smile at the time. I hope you guys enjoy this lesson, and check out the pictures of the crayon artist, and don't be scared to try out some new techniques. That way you can see yourself grow as an artist, okay? We'll see you soon.